name is Arlea, and I'm going to talk about my water filter. I make it because most problems in the world are because lack of potable water. For example, in La Guajira, this water is contaminated and is making kids and adults sick. They don't have too much resources and they could possibly die. Before I did my water filter, I thought that things like pH on water or electric conductivity were insignificant. Also, I thought it was easy to do a water filter, but now I know that every material has a purpose. I use pH, dissolved oxygen, and electric conductivity for knowing if my water was totally clean. For making the water filter, I need to search for different methods or types of homemade water filter. Then I bought the materials for making the filter and I used these materials. One plastic box, a water bottle, sand, rocks, cotton, and a plastic tap. I put all the materials in specific layers because each material is making the water purified and eliminating different types of particles. If you can see, there is a layer of cotton and a thick layer of sand, then a layer of rocks, and finally another layer of cotton. This is because first rocks are eliminating the bigger particles of dust, and sand and cotton are eliminating the little particles. The last week on the lab, we went to measure the pH, the dissolved oxygen, and the electric conductivity of the water before and after purified. I measured pH, dissolved oxygen, and electric conductivity with different instruments. The pH, electric conductivity, and dissolved oxygen is something important when purifying water. Before the water was purified by the filter, the results of pH, electric conductivity, and dissolved oxygen were: in pH 6.22, in electric conductivity 205, and in dissolved oxygen 7.2. The pH on water means the salinity of water, and it's measured on a scale from 0 to 14. The sample I took before passing it to the water filter showed that the pH was 6.22. That means it's too acid to be taken. In the graphics, we can see that the water filter did his job. In the photos, we can see that the water that the filter filtrate was completely clear. In the graphs, I compared the before and after of the dirty water and the filtered water, and we can see it have a big change. Then, after we filtrate the water, the results changed, and they were of pH 7.1, of dissolved oxygen 7.5, of electric conductivity 295. This means the water was potable at that point, taking into account the pH, electric conductivity, and dissolved oxygen. This means my hypothesis was wrong. The pH, dissolved oxygen, and electric conductivity was more important than what I thought. And also my hypothesis also said that making a filter would be a lot harder. And that's true. Making a filter is not easy because you have to search for what is each material. When comparing the graphs, we can see that the other groups have different results. In pH, in the graph comparing the pH, we can see that Daniela's Arenas group has the highest score and Daniela's Castillos has the lowest score. But it differs very little from mine. This is before filtering, but still Daniela's Arenas group has the highest score. Mine is a little bit lower, but hers is still high. Daniela's Castillo's group has the lowest score. We can classify this table as increasing. When we see the graphs of dissolved oxygen, we can see Daniela's Arenas and Daniela's Castillo's group has very similar results, and mine is the lowest. This was before filtering. However, after filtering, Daniela's Castillo's groups are very similar. Instead, Daniela's Arenas group has the highest results. We can classify this table as constable because the results are very similar. And finally, in the graphs of electric conductivity, we can see before filtering that our results are very similar. They, they are in the same level. Instead, after filtering, our results change. Daniela Serena's group has the highest results, then me, and finally Daniela Castillo's group. We can classify this table as increasing. I think my water filter is effective because comparing to the other groups, my results are very similar. The method I follow is very similar to the other groups because I had the same structure and the same materials. I think that I can improve my filter by making it bigger for filtering more water and having more potable water. Science can bring potable water to Las Guajiras people by these three ways. First one, by making more filters and making them cheaper so Las Guajiras people can buy it. Second, bring cars with water every month. And third one, the water will be free for them. These are three developments that doesn't let Las Guajiras people to have water. The materials of the aqueducts, the price of the materials of the aqueducts, and the price of the plastic bottles. And finally, science can give to Las Guajiras people water by these three ways: decreasing the price of the water bottles, making aqueducts through Las Guajiras, and giving filters so they can discontaminate the water. Thank you for watching.